getting to multiple millions of dollars a year and sustaining it, like, dude, for me, it's just been like, it's been 80% figuring out how to lead people.
Yeah.
And it's unlearning a lot of bad habits that came from being in a similar position. Like, I don't think my parents instilled it in me that working hard makes you more money, but I do think that I kind of like learned it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a parents thing or a culture thing or whatever, but I just learned, like, because I was a one man show, grinding it out, taking my own calls, serving my clients, doing everything myself. And I almost had to unlearn lone wolf syndrome. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And the guy that you used to work for, you told me about him a little bit and how like he just does like one check in a month with his executives of each division and that's it, right? Like insane.
Yeah, he sent me. I have voice messages from like this morning. He's like, I work
Mm.
like 1 day a week, and that 1 day a week is like check-ins with department leaders, and that's it. He's like,
Yeah,
if all roads lead to me. Like something's broken,
that's
and
awesome.
like, it was very eye-opening.
Yeah, his only job in one sense is just to hold the weight of the responsibility of if this thing goes down. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like he goes down with it. That's the only responsibility. It's just like make sure like he's I imagine he's the visionary that sees 2 or 3 years out and makes the adjustments necessary. But other than that, like it's just a good relationship with trustable leaders at the top. That's what it sounds like.
yeah. I feel like the biggest thing I learned is as far as like kind of that fine like teeter-totter balance of like being a Nazi that's like all over your employees and like making sure it's like a straight boot camp, or like I'm a friend, I'm a buddy, let's chit chat and like go have fun together, is like not making decisions based off of emotion, but having like
Mm.
in day reporting and just straight KPIs where it's like, hey, like numbers say this, numbers are supposed to be this, like where's the
Yeah,
gap, why is the gap there? Then it's
yeah,
not as much me versus you, but like us versus problem, and it's
yes,
there's less bias emotion in your like, I guess, call outs of them, and then
hmm,
they know if they're underperforming, they're underperforming, so they're expecting you to say whatever you have to say to
yes,
call them out.
absolutely.
You also
Yeah,
feel better as the leader because it's just like if you have good expectation settings and like good like goal setting and good data tracking, the weight of like I don't want to call this guy out or be rude or come off a certain way is pretty much gone.
yep, totally. Because you can just say the objective truth.
Yeah,
You're just a mirror. Like you can hold up to them. Like, look, you said you were gonna do 10, you did 4.
yeah,
Like that's like I know it becomes instead of it being like beating you up, beating you up, beating up, it becomes I know you're better than this. You're on the team because you're better than this. I need you to be better than this. Otherwise, we might end up having a problem, and I don't want to get there. You did 4. I need you to do 10. Can you do 10? And I'm like, yes, I can do 10. It's like sweet. Let's get to it. If there's any way I can support you in getting to 10, you let me know. But like the numbers are the numbers.
yeah,
I completely agree, dude. And like for me, I've had to learn one of my buddies, and I actually interviewed him for the podcast, is Bastion Slot. I'm sure you know who Bastion is, but I interviewed him, and he just crossed $1 million a month, and so I've seen him grow from scratch. So I was his first mentor back when he was like he was an appointment setter at like another company.
mhm,
Worked with me. I got him like 30 or 40 a month with just like basically Facebook groups and starting his offer and whatever. And
yeah,
he went crazy. And the thing that he is really instilled and that I've seen by observation is almost just this like relentless eyes everywhere in my company, and not eyes in terms of like you should never have to ask somebody, "Hey, how's your day going?" You should know by looking, and you should
yeah,
have a place where you can look. You know what I mean? Like you should be able to look and like that's their performance. This is what's happening, and you can just like have like a HUD that just pulls up, and you know everything in the business. And at this point, we've got that hub like maybe 70-80% done where I can see like every single setter and how they're performing, all the students and their results and their feedback currently, how they're enjoying the calls and the course and the results they're getting. We even have them to do end of day reports even for our students. We keep track of all that. Just all these things like that are beginning to like consolidate so that I still have. I think a part of what's attractive about being a one man show is having that ability to control everything.
yeah,
But in the deficit comes when you can't extend your arm much further because you've only got so many hours in a day. So if you
yeah,
can consolidate all the data into one place, you still can control things without being a control freak. I think you cross the line of control freak when you're asking people to do things that are like, what do you mean? I already did it, or why do we need to do that, or whatever. But if you're completely reasonable, if you're like, look, the data says this, we need to be here, we need to be 7, we're at 4. Can we get to at least a 6 by the end of the day? You know what I mean? Like that's not control freak. That's just the numbers are telling me the story, and we need to correct this. What's wrong? If you enjoyed this clip and you want to mentor directly underneath me and learn all the strategies that we've implemented into our students' businesses to help over 100 people reach 6 figures a year, 100 to $999,000 a year, and over, I think it's 15 students as of January 2023 to $1 million a year or more, then I want you to go ahead and schedule your completely free consultation with us. There's no pressure to make a decision. We're not going to force your hand. We're just trying to figure out what it is that you need in order to take that next step to either start your online consulting or coaching business in any niche, any industry, or take your existing consulting or coaching business and really scale it to that next level in order to really sustain a business, put a lot of money in the bank very quickly, and serve a lot of people. Okay, so you can use the pinned comment on this video, or if you're listening on our podcast, go to treycockrum.com/schedule-page, and you can check out that page. It's just a simple schedule page. If you fill out a form and we want to know a bit about you, a bit about where you're coming from and what's motivating you to even speak with us so that we can make sure we give you the best options. And if we notice that you're honestly not in the best place to get started, whether that's financially or time constraints or otherwise, we'll make some other suggestions to you, okay? Our reputation is everything to us, so we're only going to really make offers to people we know for a fact that we can help. And even if we don't make you an offer, it will still be some of the best 45 to 60 minutes you've spent on your business this year, because you're going to get a custom strategy and be told exactly what you should do next. Okay, so book your free consultation using the link in the description or on the pinned comment. Or if you're listening on a podcast, treycockrum.com/schedule-page. See you there.